moment he laid eyes on it, a shadow seemed to pass over the room. Lachlan couldn't have explained why, but everything inside him recoiled at the thought of opening that box. "Lachlan?" He turned at the sound of his mother's voice, then rose to his feet and hefted the box into his arms. No use hesitating now. Whatever it was, it couldn't be worse than what had already passed. Much later, after his mother had revealed her secrets and he and Kieran and Isla were on the road to England, he'd think about this moment and curse himself for a fool. Things could always be worse. "Put it here, on the bed." His mother was struggling to sit up, and Lachlan helped settle her against the pillows behind her. He tried not to notice how emaciated she was, but as he lifted her, a memory of a dead bird he'd found as a small child drifted through his mind. The dogs had killed it, and underneath the scattered feathers was a pile of tiny, fragile bones, white, impossibly thin, pathetically breakable. His mother turned the key in the lock. Lachlan lifted the heavy lid and peered inside. Papers. Thin stacks lay neatly on top of each other. Most were letters, their seals broken. It looked as if a crest had been pressed into the dark red wax, but it had cracked and hardened over the years, and he couldn't make it out. "The papers, Lachlan. Hand them to me, will you?" Again Lachlan did as his mother bid. Instead of reading them, his mother sagged against her pillows. Her thin fingers clutched at the yellowed sheets. "Perhaps I was wrong to keep this from you, but I've never had much use for regrets. They serve no purpose, and they won't do us any good now. When I die, Lachlan, I wish to be buried beside Niall Ramsey." Niall Ramsey. Not your father, but Niall Ramsey. He should have anticipated what would come next, but he didn't. He didn't because how could he? How could anyone? "Once I'm buried, you will take your sister and brother to Buckinghamshire, to an estate there called Huntington Lodge. Present yourself to Phineas Knight when you arrive. He's the Marquis of Huntington. He may not be pleased to see you, by all accounts. He's a proud, stern sort of man, but that doesn't matter. He can't refuse to acknowledge you." Lachlan stared at her. "Acknowledge me as what?" "As his brother." Her fingers tightened around the sheaf of papers in her hand. "The previous Marquis of Huntington recognizes you as his son in these letters. The current Marquis, Phineas Knight, is your elder brother, Lachlan." "Kieran's my only brother." Dozens of confused images of Kieran flooded his mind. Kieran as an infant, cradled in their mother's arms, and later, Kieran as a boy, always running after Lachlan on his stout little legs, tedious in his adoration, in the way of all younger brothers. "No, Lachlan. Kieran is your half-brother, and Isla is your half-sister. Niall Ramsey is their father, but he's not yours. He loved you as his own. No man could have loved you more, but your real father is the late Marquis of Huntington, father to the current Marquis." Lachlan took the papers from her hand and stared at them blindly for a moment, then tossed them aside. Even if they did prove his claim to another life, he couldn't make them mean anything or connect them to himself in any way. They were just marks on a page, rendered in fading black ink. "I'm the bastard son of a Marquis." It was odd how calm he sounded, almost as if his life hadn't just been torn apart, and the pieces rearranged in a pattern he didn't recognize. "You're not I was married to Lord Huntington when you were conceived. When I met Niall Ramsey, you were already growing in my belly." Lachlan sucked in a quick, hard breath, as if he'd just taken a powerful blow to the stomach. "You fled your marriage and left your first son behind. What kind of mother? What kind of mother leaves her son? What kind of father lets her go, knowing she's carrying his unborn child?" He bit down hard on the bitter words, because what did it matter what her reasons had been? There was no answer she could give that would make any of this right in his head.